This is the all-new 2015 Subaru Legacy, and we're here in Lafayette, Indiana. This is where they make this car for all over the world. Its biggest sales, obviously, in North America. Now, they had some research when they redid this car into what the perception is of Subaru and what the perception is of the Legacy sedan. They found out with Subaru, the things you would typically suspect. It's known for all-wheel drive, traction, durability, longevity, all those sorts of things that Subaru really prides itself on. But the Legacy didn't even really surface when it came to perception of buyers. Most people, when they're shopping for a mid-sized car, they go to the usual suspects, the Camry and the Accord and the Fusion and so on. And they wanted to make this car jump out. Now, the consumers told them they didn't really like the styling of the car, so they've updated that. It's a little bit longer, a little wider. They've lowered the roof line, give it a steeper rake windshield front and back. They moved the A-pillar farther forward. That enabled them to put the mirror onto the door and not on the window, made much greater glass area for outward visibility. So the car definitely does pop, and all of them come standard with alloy wheels, even the base model. So it looks more dynamic, that's for sure. In addition, the consumers told them that they worried about buying an all-wheel drive car because of a fuel consumption penalty. So Subaru went to town improving the way the car is made and the way it drives to produce fuel economy that is bumped up over 10% from the previous model. So we're here in Lafayette, Indiana. Go on the test track behind the facility and drive around the rural countryside. Now, when Subaru was doing the research on this car, they found that people thought that if you got an all-wheel drive car, it was a premium offering. They didn't realize that Subaru had adjusted their prices down. For example, this car just a few years ago started around $27,000. Now it starts at just over $24,000, and it gets some nice things as well. For $24,795, the base automatic, you get a nice 6.2-inch screen, you get heated seats, you get a backup camera, you get USB, you get Bluetooth, all those sorts of things. If you get the navigation package, the screen goes from 6.2 inches to 7 inches, and you can actually pinch in on the screen like you would with a smartphone. Very nice update on the inside here. The radio definitely does look better, and a nice flush integration into the dash with a touch screen, sort of sensitive buttons here on the left and the right. So they've done a lot of nice things there. Now, I mentioned on the outside, they've moved those mirrors down to the door and made the A-pillar forward. It provides great outward visibility for the front passengers especially. And a lot of people that buy these cars, these little small things really do make a big difference. This is one of the most homogeneous classes. You look at all of the competitors, they all match up trim line for trim line, almost dollar for dollar. But the ace in the hole that Subaru has is the fact that this car comes available with standard all-wheel drive. People think it's a premium offering, but if you look at the competition at just under $25,000, it's a lot of car for the money. Now, as I mentioned off the beginning, the updates for this car had to serve two purposes. One was to make it more recognizable, and also to dispel the myth that a car that has all-wheel drive is hard on fuel. And they went to great lengths to improve the fuel economy on this particular model. The 2.5-liter four-cylinder is rated at 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and just 5.4 on the highway. The six-cylinder is rated at 10.5 in the city and 6.9 on the highway. And how they were able to do that is a number of different things. Obviously, they can work on the aerodynamics of the car. They've done that. They've added a lot more high-strength tensile steel, which makes the car more rigid. It helps in the way the car drives. But they also were able to add a lot of size to this car, but not make it really that much heavier. Now, the real secret sauce is the optimization of the four-cylinder engine, the 2.5-liter, matched to a continuously variable transmission. Now, the transmission has been modified heavily to make it work much more efficiently. Now, that engine has 175 horsepower and 174 foot-pounds of torque. Now, it isn't going to be the best choice for someone that's doing high-speed passing on the highway, but for the average commuter, that's probably the engine they're going to want. It's going to be great on fuel and also give you good low-end torque. And the CVT that Subaru produces is fantastic. It is the best one in the market, in my opinion. If you do want to take it up a notch, though, you can get the 3.6-liter six-cylinder engine. That produces 256 horsepower, and the CVT with that engine actually is remarkably crisp. It really takes off, and you can actually mimic up to 8 different gear ratios, selected gears, and that really can make the car fly along. It gives it a much more refined feel as well. Now, for those of you who like to row your own gears, there is a manual transmission available, but it's only available with the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, not with the 6-cylinder engine, but that's okay. It's not a big market in Canada with manual transmissions, but people who do like to do their own shifting, the good news is, yes, you can get a Legacy with a manual. It made a special effort to get it for our Canadian market. How would I sum up the improvements to this car overall? This is not a performance car. This is an everyday commuter vehicle that's going to give you the added security of all-wheel drive, and it's competing with a lot of very well-known sedans in this class. But this car has something. It stands out from the pack in a very homogeneous category. All-wheel drive in a nice solid car that has a fantastic safety record and now has much improved fuel economy. That's going to be a win-win for a lot of Subaru potential buyers. This 2015 is a marked improvement over the previous edition. It looks better, nicer on the inside, better fuel economy, and is a very nice car to drive, smooth and relaxed and comfortable. The problem Subaru has is people aren't looking at mid-size sedans as much as they used to. They're going into small SUVs. Someone shopping for this, they say, I can get a very nicely equipped Forester. But those that still want a mid-size car, this is the cheapest all-wheel drive on the market.